Hi everyone, welcome back to Rob's Funk and Junk podcast. It's been some time, I know. I haven't been around for quite a while. And a few people have asked, where's the podcast? Have I stopped? Has it all finished? And I've thought, shall I do this? Shall I carry on? It's been, I can't remember how long it was ago, but it was, early last year. I remember starting to do an episode. I was going to do an interview with a friend of mine, and then got everything set up, and all the cameras were set up, and he had his camera on, I had my camera on, and then the internet kept on kicking in and out, and then I just got rolling, and then I got a phone call from my wife saying, "Oh, the car's got a puncture. Can you come and help me?" And then I just stopped doing it. For a little while. So, and then I'm one of these people that once I stop doing it, I stop doing it. Like going to the gym, I guess. So, yeah, apologies if you've been missing it. But yeah, I'm back. I was always going to come back and do it. But if anyone's out there at all listening, hello, how you doing? Oh, this light's terrible. I've got a light on. But if anyone's out there, how are you all out there? Hope you're all well. And it's been a busy year. I don't know about you, but it's been very busy. That's one of the other reasons for not sort of keeping on top of doing the podcast. It's been a really busy year, just with gigs and sessions and life. Yeah, we had a load of work done in the house here, so it's been frantic. Just with workmen in all the time. This studio was made into a makeshift kitchen because we were having our kitchen done, and we just had people in the house constantly, 2 radios playing at the same time, listening to terrible house music. But yeah, it's just, I'm not giving loads of excuses. My main excuse is I've been crap. I've just not been around to do the podcast. So I'm back. So what's been happening this year? I've had a couple of tours, if you can call them tours. We did a handful of shows with Jamira, which was really nice to get back out with the boys and girls in the band and play it at some cool places. It was really nice to be out there again playing to the audiences that came to see us. Where did we go? Prague, which was good fun. I think that was the first show. Prague, Italy, Lucca. I drank way too many Negronis in Lucca. I was very hungover the next day. Where else? Really lovely show in Orange in France. That was really pretty special. Where else? Adelaide. Got to play in Adelaide. I never thought I'd get the chance to. I remember sort of thinking I'll never get the chance to go back to the States. States? Never get the chance to go back to Australia. Still haven't been back to the States. But that was, it was great to get and play to people, and the band was sounding great. The band actually felt very different, because on this tour we didn't have like any of the computer stuff running, because on the Automaton tour we had a lot of sort of sequency stuff running on some of the tracks. So the band went back to how it felt when I first started playing with them years ago. Felt very sort of fluid, arrangements changing on the fly, like we used to do, which was quite good, enjoyable. What else? Yeah, so anyone who came out to the shows, thanks for coming out to see us. It was really, really good to see your smiling faces again, and I know the whole band really enjoyed it. I think Jay enjoyed it as well, so that's good. Um, and then what else was I doing? I did a tour, Brother Strut, a UK tour with the band Brother Strut. That was really good fun. Um, Great fun playing with those guys. It's sort of really nice to play in some of those venues where you can see the whites of people's eyes. It's really nice. Um, what did we do? Like 14, 15 shows, I think. That was really good. My wife is outside. She's doing Christmas decorations today. So, yeah, what else has been happening? Um, been doing some workshops. So I've been, Paul Turner and I did our very first boom and twang. Hang on, I'm just going to have a sip of, you can hear I'm a bit throaty. Yeah, we did our first boom and twang workshop, which was back in November last month. We had 8 guitar players and 8 bass players join us at a little hotel in the UK from a Friday through to a Sunday, and we got to do lots of sort of one-to-one lessons, but also group workshops, with the idea being that we can get bass players and guitar players working together. I know a lot of focus is placed on doing just guitar or bass lessons. So we decided that it would be a good idea to sort of get people playing together at the same time and playing with each other and sort of thinking on their feet. And it seemed to be, well, I think, the people that came seemed to enjoy it. And it was really good fun, actually, really good fun. We had Derek McKenzie come and join us for the last day so everyone could get up and play. And, it's more about getting a bit of a community of players together. People sort of make friends on these things. So it's really nice. I've kind of seen the people sort of talking to each other on their socials now. It was really good fun, really, really good fun. We got another one booked for March next year. So if anyone knows of anyone that might be interested, drop me a line at robsfunkandjunk@gmail.com, and I can send you some information about that. But we're also, I have mentioned it in the past, we've been talking about doing one over at a studio in Thailand, which that has become a thing. So we are just nailing down a date. At the moment, we've been in talks to nail down a date, and it looks like we might be doing that in hopefully early next year, possibly February, possibly March next year. So yeah, if anyone would be interested in that, same thing, 3 days group workshop with 8 bass players, 8 guitar players, and the studio over in Thailand that we're looking at is absolutely stunning. And yeah, that's going to be fun. If anyone wants to, anyone interested, drop me a line about that. God, it sounds like I'm just plugging stuff. I'm not just plugging stuff. It's just telling you what's been happening. What else has been happening is that I have a signature guitar coming out, which I'm most surprised at. It's I actually have it here, but I'm not going to show it just yet. If I lean that way, you can't see it. It's hidden behind me amongst the amount of guitars that I have. But yeah, I have a signature guitar that's been made. I'm just sort of hanging out with it at the moment. It arrived last week, so I've been playing it quite a lot, just to check everything's cool with it. And I must say, I'm very happy with it so far. But I will hopefully be able to sort of show you it next week, maybe, if I'm back next week. Let's hope I don't disappear for yet another, God, what's it been? 7 months since I've done one of these? 6, 7 months? I'm a nightmare with stuff like that. It is just like going to the gym. If I have a break, that's it. I stop going. And I've been telling myself, you must do some more. You must do another podcast. You must, even if no one else is listening, it's just mostly it's for me, you know. It's for me. Get stuff off my mental brain. But I might even, I did buy a little microphone, like one of those lapel mics, because sometimes I start sort of, I don't know if anyone else does this, but I start talking to myself while I'm driving, especially to and from gigs. And I thought, which is weird. Does anyone else do that? Yeah, that's an odd thing, talking to myself while I'm driving. So I thought, well, actually, I might as well just record this and it could become a podcast, although it wouldn't have a video to it. But my missus is feeding one of the dogs next door. Yeah, I thought I might as well record it and my thoughts of the day, if that's what it is, or rants. Yeah, the other reason I stopped for a little while is I was becoming. I started to hear myself sort of talking to people, and I was becoming a bit negative about the industry that we're in. Um, I do that sometimes. I get a bit, I see people's posts on social media, and I kind of hear rumors about how some musicians are treated in this industry, and I start to sort of rant a bit, and I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to start. I didn't want this to be a place where I was just ranting about the conditions that some musicians have and some don't. Some people, you know, absolutely love it. But yeah, I just thought the last thing I want to do is sit here moaning um, about things in the industry. So that's another reason I stopped for a little while. Um, but what else has there been happening? You can tell I'm out of practice doing this because I'm saying a lot. What's been happening? I've been doing loads of sessions in here and in other places. It's been nice. I did a couple of sessions out at a colleague's studio called the Lark's Tongue, which was with a producer called Mike Spencer. Did a lovely couple of sessions with him. One was for an artist called Ella Air. That came out. I think it's out now. It's a song called Head in the Ground. That was really good fun to play for an artist that I've not worked with before. And then I did another track for an artist called Cat Burns, which I don't believe is going to come out. I don't think the label were happy with that version of a track, and that is a thing that happens quite a lot when you're doing sessions. I used to sort of hear about this. You end up playing on something and it doesn't ever see the light of day. That's happened so many times to me. You sort of work on something that you think is really good and it just doesn't end up happening. The powers that be just don't, they're not satisfied with it. So they tend to, it just doesn't happen, or it might, you never know. These things sometimes come out, sometimes they don't. But I've worked on so many things that you think were incredible, and you get really excited about it. But once it's done, it's then in the hands of a label or A&R and maybe the artist as well. Maybe the artist isn't satisfied with it. You can never get it. It's sometimes the stars align and sometimes they don't. So this was an occasion where they didn't, and you just have to be used to that. I'm very used to that happening. Um, I do know that I remember Paul telling me a story about him going to do a session. Paul Turner, this is going to do a session, and you have the tape strips on the bottom of the desk. Saying he was playing bass for an artist. I won't say who it was, but he was playing bass for an artist, and on the strips at the bottom of the desk where it's like kick drum, snare drum, overheads, bass, keys, blah blah blah, on the mixing desk. But it also had the names of different bass players that had already played on this track. Each track has a new strip. When they're working on a track, they lay the strips down, and there were three other bass players that had their names on this track. Faders that had their names on it, and three other, very 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 well known bass players that I think Paul was thinking, well, if they've not made the cut, but that's just how it is, moods change, things change all the time, and what sounded great one day might not sound great the next day. So that's a huge thing. Just because you think you've done an amazing job on a session. Now, I'm just going to tilt that back a bit. You've done an amazing job on a session. Now, move it forward again. Yeah. The next day they might wake up and the direction of the song might change completely. So you end up doing something else. And that is initially a huge kick in the ass for your ego, but it's not necessarily your fault. It's not necessarily my fault. I've worked on songs where someone else has replaced me, and I've worked on songs where I've replaced someone else. So it's just the way the cookie crumbles. It doesn't mean you've done a bad job. It just means that a decision was made later on and it changed. So what else has been happening? My room has got more guitars in it. I can't really show you, but I'm looking at a shelving. I've been looking at these guitar racks for double tier racks. I've counted up my guitars in here. I've got, I think, about 35 guitars in here at the moment, and I'm kind of running out of space. It's either sell some guitars, get rid of some guitars, or look at some more storage. Probably get rid of some, I think, because it's crazy. Having that amount of guitars is crazy. I can't play them all. But yeah, I'm just looking. I've seen these online. There's a couple of companies. So I've got the usual standard racks of guitars. And obviously you can see all my acoustics are hanging up back there. I just keep them out of the way. I don't know whether that's a good thing to hang guitars up. I kind of read online that it's not particularly healthy for the guitars to be hung up like that, but I have no other options. So, but around the floor to the right of me and behind on the left, I've got a couple of guitar racks. But I have noticed these double tier. My wife's telling me the chickens are out. The chickens are out. If you could see the body language, how was the body language? She actually did that. The chickens are out. The chickens are out. Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking at getting a double tiered. I've seen them online, and you can have like 7 guitars on a lower shelf and then 7 above. So that might be the option, but they're so fucking expensive. So, no disrespect. I'm sure they're really, really good quality guitar stands, but they're guitar stands. I've seen them. They're like £1,500. I saw one for, and I know that's for people who really want to show off their guitars. Yeah, really, really want to show off their sort of pride and joy guitars. Mine's just functional, really. I just need my guitars near me all the time. So, so if anyone's out there who's got a solution for that, I was thinking of building one myself, but I'm terrible with tools, and I got a splinter the other day. I know. Oh, poor you got a splinter. I got a splinter the other day in my index finger on my right hand. Oh man, it was painful. I had a gig that night. So painful doing a gig like that, and then when it gets a bit funky in there, and you got to rip the splinter out, and there's crap oozing out of your finger. and every time you wake up in the morning, you can't bend your finger. I know it's not exactly being an ice road trucker. That's not that's a dangerous job. Playing guitar is not a dangerous job, but yeah, that's why I don't do much handiwork around the house. Also, Ray, my other half, won't let me because if I lose a finger, we lose a house. Yeah, and we don't want to do that. So, yeah, you have to be careful as guitar players. Any guitar players out there who know anything about insuring your hands, which I know you probably can do, and I should do, because she's always going on about me insuring my hands. Sorry for the. I might have to go and edit out the drinking noise. Sorry if that's disgusting. I know I can't stand the sound of people eating on a microphone or a phone. If I'm on a phone call with anybody and I know they're eating, I will immediately try and get off the phone call. It's the sound of people eating on film, on the radio, and drinking, and then the sound of people kissing. Ugh, makes my stomach churn. Anytime there's someone kissing and it's horribly slobbery. Yeah, it's nice. Someone's having a kiss. That's great, but I don't really want to hear it and hear all those noise. And the sound of lip smacking. I don't know if anyone uses this, but I use it all the time. If ever I'm doing a vocal recording, or Ray sometimes does voiceovers, there's a bit of software by Isotope it's a D popper, not D. Basically, it removes all of the lip smacky sounds, and I hate that. There's a certain singer that I love his voice. I won't say who it is, but I love his voice. But my God, does he need to remove the lip smacking from his recordings, or on certain recordings? It drives me up the wall. So yeah, you can get this bit of software and you just run the audio. And I do it on the podcast on this. I get the audio and then I run it through this D clicker, and basically it just listens to the whole bit of the audio. And you can have it so you can only hear the lip smacks. It gets rid of the voice and just shows you what it's removing. And it's disgusting. It's really disgusting. It sounds like the most horrible, moist. Ugh. Yeah, that's a form of torture to me. So I get rid of that. And yeah. Yeah, why would I do that? That's crazy. So what else is news? Yeah, not just been busy. Just been busy. So maybe this is going to be a short. Where am I at now? 23 minutes. What else have I got this news? Nothing really. We're just coming up to Christmas. So, yeah, just coming up to Christmas. Ray's we're a bit late with the decorations. She won't let me get involved other than helping her get the stuff down from the loft. She's the artistic one. She does an amazing job with our Christmas decorations. She loves it. Yeah, we're coming up to Christmas and we are just... I kind of this year, because last year was so crazy. This time last year I was touring France, actually. So I've been having some reminders coming up on my socials today. I was in Paris this time last year. And that was so nuts running up to Christmas, gigging. I was just gigging like a madman. And same thing, I've been just taking on every gig I can, just because I want to play all the time. But this year I've decided to try my best to just relax a bit as well. I've been just working so hard. Oh, poor you, been working so hard. I've just been so busy. Like a lot of other musicians out there, I know it's just full on this time of year. I did a gig the other day, and one of the singers, she was like saying that most days running up to Christmas, she's doing 2 gigs a day, racing around town. On a singer, that must be really tough on your voice, really tough. So I've just been sort of picking and choosing a little bit, just so I can get some time at home. Um, I wanted this year. I did a gig last year in the Maldives for New Year's, and whilst it was lovely, it just meant I was away from home a bit longer than I wanted to be. So this year I've just taken on a New Year's Eve gig in town in London, so I can be home um, with my wife and the kids when they come over, and the dogs and the chickens. So I've been, I've just been taking it, just picking and choosing a little bit more, and also just I had quite a lot on here in the studio here. So, but yeah, I will keep that as a short podcast. My dipping my toe back in. I'm not used to it. I'm not used to it talking to myself again. But yeah, if you're out there listening, sorry I've been away for so long, and this might be a slightly underwhelming podcast for you to listen to, but this is me ripping off the plaster and getting back into it. So hopefully this will, now I've broken the seal and I'm doing it again. I shall hopefully maintain it and keep on doing it. I did have quite a few people asking, as I said earlier, is it coming back? I've had a few messages here and there. I just stopped, which is crap. I shouldn't stop, really. I should just carry on doing it. Carry on, Harris. Welcome back to the podcast. I've just had a message up saying there's a session that's come in and he's doing by tonight. So I'm going to stop doing the podcast and get on with the recording. Welcome back to the podcast. To me, I'm back doing it. Thanks for listening in. If you are listening in, if you've got any questions or anything you want to talk about, drop me a line on robsfunkandjunk@gmail.com. If anyone's interested in the boom and twang thing, drop me a line on the same. If you're up for that, robsfunkandjunk@gmail.com. Hopefully next week I can show you my new guitar. You can see the headstock right there. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm going to pick it up now and do some recording with it. I better go because I've got some things to do. But yes, take care, and I will see you soon. Cue the music, the Rob's Funk and Junk music, which I haven't heard since the last time I did the podcast. Yeah, take care, and I hope your Christmas plans and all that are going okay. I hope you're all okay out there. All right, bye.